What's up, light skin fam? It's your boy Zen, aka Gamma from the Light Skin Boys. Today we are going to be having a conversation about discipline, identity, and building something that's real. I am joined by Jarrell Brackett, also known as Coach C. He's a boxer, a music producer, and someone who understands what it means to stay focused when struggles are rough.
Hello, everybody. I'm here to talk and I'm here to ask questions of Zen over there. I think that he's trying to get us to know him by putting up public interviews and other things like that, where he gets to show his candor, specific choices of words. I want to pick apart at that and see how much I can get him to admit in the shortest amount of time. When you introduce yourself as Zen or Gamma, which name feels more true to who you are?
Actually, both. Because I'm peaceful for the most part. I'm more zen for the most part. But if someone pushed me over the limits, I could be a gamma.
Okay. What did your life look like in the year before the Light Skin Boys existed?
Before the year the Light Skin Boys existed, I was working 2 jobs, making $2,000 a week. I was playing Call of Duty semi-pro and taking care of my kids. That's about it.
Was anything missing in your life that made you feel like creating content was necessary or not optional?
Well, when I decided to start creating content, I focused on building the memory aspect of it. So I was never, at first, it was never anything about getting monetized or anything like that. It was more of journaling all the memories and just sharing it with the world and seeing and getting feedback.
What part of your story do people usually misunderstand first? What part of your story do people usually misunderstand first?
What part of my story does people usually misunderstand?
Correct.
The fact that when I made this channel, it wasn't focused on snack reviews. It wasn't focused on gaming. It was literally something that me and my friend put together to stop panhandling and to basically just troll the internet.
Wow.
But in a realistic type of way, with no like telling the truth on stuff, but also throwing shades at different brands and stuff like that.
When you say shade, what do you mean throwing shade at different bands? I'm kind of confused.
So throwing shades at different brands means you're basically saying that the product you're reviewing is better than that product.
Okay.
It's basically dissing a brand to get the basically for the brand you like.
What is light skin? You say light skin perspective. What does that usually mean in your lived experience?
All right, so light skin perspective means like everyone gets everything confused. They all think of either you're black or you're white, but like, what about the people in between that's like literally light skin and stuff? Like, they don't take from our eyes and stuff like that. We gotta choose whether we're white or black if we go to jail and stuff like that. Like, we got so much thrown on you, but people don't see that we work on a different way. We work in a more smart and realistic way that allows us to achieve many types of goals that other people just stop and give up on.
When did you become aware that people treated you differently? did that shape you?
I've been getting treated differently since I was in kindergarten.
Have there been moments where you didn't fully belong anywhere?
Yeah, when I moved out to West Virginia, there were a lot of racists out there.
I'm not going to say anything because West Virginia exists. So, how do you define identity for yourself? Is it something fixed or is it something evolving? Your identity, how do you
My
define?
identity is always constantly evolving because I'm always constantly learning. Knowledge is key. If you learn something new every day, you will advance more, quicker than someone who's not trying to learn new knowledge every day.
What parts of you are you learning how to express publicly?
Hurts me to learn how to express publicly.
Yeah.
When I started this channel, because before, actually no, it would take me back all the way to around when I was 16 or 17. I was in West Virginia and decided to start doing live streams out there to try to get over social anxiety, and been used as a tool since.
You've spoken about homelessness. What did that teach you about discipline?
Oh, you when you're homeless, like you really gotta be on everything. Like if like not your judge, you're judged more than anyone in this world. Like you're more judged than, hate to say his name, but Jeffrey Epstein, because of the fact you're the you're the lowest of the food chain. People, you eating out of dumpsters, you're eating out of garbage cans. Uh, any bit of money, like people telling you to go get a job when it's hard to get a job while you're homeless because you ain't got a stable roof over your head. So you gotta focus on protecting all your property. That's a challenge by itself. Like it's a whole job by itself. Being homeless by itself is a job that is that they're now making illegal. It's illegal to become homeless now, which is weird because of the fact, like a lot of the people did not choose to be on there, but there are people who go and act like they're homeless, and they made memes out of one of them. He's not even really homeless. He drives a Mercedes Benz. They call him the $1.50 guy. He's downtown every day, as for either $1 or 50 cents. But it teaches you basically to stay self-aware of everything. It teaches you to be humble. Um, Teaches you how to survive. Teaches you how to scavenge. Like it taught me so much. Like there's stuff from it that I will never be able to put on here because it's too graphic for this.
What habits kept you grounded when everything else felt unstable?
Staying positive. I just stay positive. Focused on creating content.
When motivation disappears, what do you rely on instead?
Motivational speeches like Moversity, Eric Thomas.
What does progress look like for you when there's no immediate reward?
Progress is going to come. It's just the fact I got to keep on pushing and can't give up. It's consistency.
How do you keep struggle contextual without letting it define you? How do you keep it, around you without letting it be the center of who you are?
I focus on all positive aspects of things, so I don't try to focus on any negative aspect. Even if I'm down in a struggle, I know that the biggest struggle brings the biggest blessings. So I don't have to focus on the negative aspects of anything, because as long as I do what I gotta do and continue staying positive and spreading positivity, that's all that really matters.
What creative skill are you currently trying to sharpen the most?
Editing, content writing, um, music production, DJing.
What does consistency mean to you when your resources are limited?
Consistency doesn't depend on resources that are limited, because as long as you have a phone, you could do everything from your phone for real. So it there's no such thing as a real limited resource, unless you want to just jump ahead and look and have your channel be marked as basically fake content and trend following content.
Someone watching this interview feels stuck. What truth do you want them to hear? And no sugar.
The truth here is, no matter what struggle you go through, no matter what life throws at you, keep on pushing forward. Don't let no one discourage you from your dreams.
In 5 years, what do you hope someone says that this channel gave them?
Hope, inspiration, motivation, and encouragement.
Final question. What kind of man do you believe this process is shaping you into being?
A positive, inspirational, motivational type of person.
Those were I believe it was my 20 questions with Zen. I wanted to ask these questions because I do know him, but I'm getting to know this person who is starting to become a partner with music and with other avenues and medias. It's very, very interesting to hear him be quick on his feet, because I had these questions pulled out, but he hadn't heard them yet. I'm really glad that Zen sat down to answer these questions from my end, and I'm going to be excited to do the same process with him. So I'm going to end the live stream, and I'm going to end the recording part of this call so that we can do the other side of the questions from Zen to me, and I'll be answering them. I'll be back online. I'm Jarrell Brackett. This is my channel where all things creative happening me as the center happen. So I want to say thank you. If you're out there, be yourself at all costs.
What's up, Light Skin fam? It's your boy Zen, aka Gamer from the Light Skin Boys. Today I am joined by Jarrell Brackett.
I'm Claymore Kenneth Alexander.
All right.
Future champion of the world, baby.
Thank you for clarifying that for us. He is a boxer. He is a music producer. Let's get into it.
Hi.
Jarrell, for some people meeting you for the first time, who are you? This journey start for you?
I am filled with love. I mean, like, I am filled with love. For the first time, if you're meeting me, I'm just going to be myself. And when I say that, it's not some sort of performative thing. I'm really seriously trying to spend the rest of my life being Jarrell and figuring out what that means and liking it.
Okay. All right.
You should like yourself too. And if you don't, I'm going to help you do that.
Where did this journey start for you?
I know that it had to have started before I turned 12, but it's like after I started puberty. I was in England and I started there. And so when I got back to America, it was like I was a different person. And ever since then, I have been completely consumed with the idea that I need to make sure that I have all the adventures that I want to have so that when I'm old, I'm able to talk about them in a sense that I'm happy. I don't want to be, I don't want to be like, I don't want to be 50 and talk about the boxing career that I didn't even try and have. I know those men. They're sad.
So what pulled you into boxing originally?
If I'm being honest with myself, it's the fact that I had an attraction to it, like at the very core of myself. And at that point, I had a choice of whether or not I was going to, again, be who I believed I was or be something else because it was easier. I don't I don't want to be one of those people who pursued things that were easy just because I was afraid of things being hard. I agree. My career is harder right now because I was honest, but I can still wake up and look at myself in the mirror and be happy with the fact that I'm Jarrell Brackett.
Okay.
I'd rather have that than the other side.
What did boxing teach you about yourself that nothing else could?
It taught me that I'm the absolute shit. I'm the shit. Oh man. Like I know like I was a fat seventh grader. I was overweight. I was unattractive. And I had a cute face, but everything else was wrong. And then I lost my first amateur match. And I lost my second one. And I took a year off. And I did every single thing that I could possibly do to improve. I went to a different trainer. I started running. And I mean, like every day. And it transformed my body from being what it used to be to what it closely is right now. And I couldn't have gotten that without boxing. If I hadn't pursued the thing that I knew I liked and knew I wanted, even though it was the wrong necessarily reasons for me doing it, if I hadn't done this, I wouldn't have a whole bunch of other things that I'm very proud to say that I have.
What inspired you to stay disciplined when motivation wasn't there?
I'm dealing with that question now. It used to be the idea that that I would turn professional and I would have a city of people behind me and I would have something behind me that would work. And then when I went through being my first fight and I found that it was sabotage. And when I say that, I mean like people were told to not help me and then they didn't help me. And that tore a hole that is still open inside of me. Um, I don't know because it used to be that I believed that everything was going to work out if I just had and stuck with hard work. But I don't believe that anymore. Integrity is a lie. Integrity is a lie.
What was your hardest moment in the ring?
I think my hardest moment in the ring was in my professional debut. I got knocked down from a flash punch and I got up off my feet and I got up onto my feet. I was up at the count of 8 and he looked me in the face and he looked around me and I was like ready. I was there and he didn't let me continue because I didn't put my hands up. And I didn't know at the time that was the problem because I didn't get a pre-fight meeting with the referee. When I questioned him 2 years later, he told me, "Oh, I told you in the pre-fight meeting." And I looked at him in the face and I said, "I wasn't at the pre-fight meeting. No one came and talked to me. I didn't go and talk to anybody. No one told me what to do." And he looked to the left and then he walked that way. And I've had to have him as my referee 2 times since. Like, the hardest part about boxing right now is not the actual fighting, it's the society that surrounds these people and the ability for them to blame the fighter for everything without taking any responsibility.
In your own perspective, what differs hobbyists from real fighters?
Having real fights. You can say whatever you want to about me. Every time I've ever said that I would step through the ropes and fight somebody, I did that. When I signed a contract, I didn't just say I'm having problems, I'm not going to show up. I Every time I've been contracted or told or accepted a fight, I followed through even at the damage of my own life and career. I didn't realize that other people were going to abandon me that way. And it still hurts. But I stepped through the ropes. That's something that a lot of people can't say. Not only did I step through the ropes, I won. And I tested the things that I said that I was against real people. I didn't like I didn't become a fighter on paper. I became a fighter in the ring on the 18th of March 2012. And then I had amateur fights. And then I went to other countries and I fought these people. I won against these people. I lost against these people. That's what separates a real fighter from a hobbyist.
I would like to switch things up now and talk to you a little bit more about your music production, if that's okay with you.
Yes. My first song was made in, I think it was January, I think it was like February 2021. Like I was on a school bus and I was driving kids and I just, I didn't hate the kids. They were just angry and rude and I don't like that. So I wrote a diss song called Angry Children that had four parts. And it was a bass line, piano, and like a shamisen. And it just, to this day, it's like the internal joke for me. It's called Angry Children. It has my name on it, Jarrell.
Would you say that's how you entered the life of music production?
Well, when I was, okay, 2014, I started attending Olivet College. Well, now I started attending the University of Olivet, and I went there on a boxing scholarship to be a part of their team. The the My teammate was Clarissa Shields. Like at that time, the gold medalist, and she left. Music came because I was there for music. I I did my first 2 years of theory, and I passed them at Olivet, and I wanted to keep going, but I realized that I didn't need to go anymore. They were going to teach me about like counterpoint and get further and further and deeper into the rules of music rather than the feeling and the essence of it. And I switched to English as my major, and I realized how much more joy I get from writing the lyrics to the songs. And now that I know how to produce the background the way that I want it to be, like all of it is just it's amazing. I love I love producing and singing and all of these things. They make me happy.
What does music give you that boxing doesn't?
Music gives me an expression because if I could go to the gym and I can lift, but no piece of music is going to raise me like my music will raise me. Like when I'm feeling down, instead of having to go to a playlist of songs by other people, I can get this emotion that I have and put it into something that is tangible, that is audible, and that makes sense. I'm able to make sense of the world through the music that I make. Boxing doesn't make sense to me, but I love it. Boxing is my husband, but music. I don't even know what music would be. Music like food and water. Like I love boxing, but I need food and water.
Give music the same discipline as you do with boxing? or more?
I would say I gave both of them a lot of time, effort, and energy. Discipline for music was me learning how functional harmony worked. And now I can take apart the rules of music and I can break them down to something that is inherently mine. I did the same thing with boxing where I took general specific boxing styles and took the best pieces of them and made something that worked on my body. And then when I teach people how to be effective usage of their body. Like I learned how to do both, be myself and teach others how to do so with boxing. Both require discipline and both require a lot of it when I'm really in the swing of things.
Do you hear rhythm different because of boxing?
No, I don't hear it differently.
Okay.
I think what you want to ask as a part of that question is, am I able to use movement in boxing as rhythm in song, or the other way around? Do I hear music and it makes me want to box?
Well,
Do I box with the rhythm? The answer is yes.
that's
Like
basically uh hearing music, hearing rhythm differently because uh, when you're in the zone boxing, like you're like in some sort of zone. So y'all are always in zone. But for you to be able to hear music and put that with that, that's hearing music differently from someone just going out there and singing what you and bring the rhythm to it. When you say,
well, I sing as a part of my outfit, but when when my body aligns with music, whether I'm boxing or not, it feels like I'm letting myself be taken by the music itself.
well, can you dive deeper into that?
During boxing, you can't hear music. It's not like somebody in the crowd can put up their speaker and start playing the song that I want to hear in the middle of the round. That can't happen,
True.
which is really sad. I've always wondered if that could happen. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But like, I have to have the rhythm on the inside of me when I go out to really box. But when I'm back and practicing on my own, music allows me to take an hour and a half routine and stretch it out to being 3 hours of hard work. The dance doesn't feel like hard work. The dance feels like the dance. The boxing feels like the dance.
Like music is therapy for you, or do you
Uh,
feel like it's just another form of work?
it's another form of work. Even though I am able to use the skill to get emotions to exist in tangible form, it's still work. It's still work, and it has to be work because I, unlike a lot of people, I am passionate about producing an excellent product. I think that if I am going to, I'm going to say, if I'm to transform my emotions into tangible material, then I need to make sure that I take the care to translate them correctly. Because when I do that, the songs come out better. And the people on the outside want to hear the music when it's done well. They don't want to hear the random spoutings of an angry person.
Most people struggle with one path. How are you managing boxing and doing music production at the same time?
Because I'm heartbroken and nothing else works. I don't want to become something else. And I don't want to do work in fields that don't interest me. So I made sure that I became as useful as I could at the things I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
I like that. All right. Do people ever try to put you in like a box, like corner you in?
Sure. Yeah, they do.
How does that take a toll on you?
When you disturb the expectations of Americans, I'm going to use the general term Americans. Their 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 minds don't want to um okay. Cognitive dissonance is when your experience is different than what you are previously predisposed to thinking. And cognitive dissonance comes in, and it is a strange feeling that the thing that is happening is not what you believed would happen, nor could you have seen it happening that way because of who you were raised as or who was around you. I'm used to causing people cognitive dissonance because they see me being black or they see me being a boxer, and they come up with a narrative that the only person living this narrative is them, and they still put it on me. The people that kicked me out of Olivet College, headed by Dr. Linda Logan, they literally told me that they thought that because I was a boxer, that I was violent and I was these awful things. And they said that to my face, and there was nothing that I could do about it. That's what it feels like. It feels like someone's trying to, it feels like they're trying to fill in pieces of your story with prose that doesn't make any sense. I don't like that. I don't want to read a story where I don't want to read a story where it feels like the main character is being is being is being destroyed for no reason. Sometimes in my life, that's what it feels like. It feels like the
Feels like
protagonist is
one
being
sided.
destroyed for no reason.
Does it feel like one sided suffering?
It feels like everything is suffering.
Go deeper on that, please.
When you aren't able to be yourself, your whole being is converted to being something that it doesn't want to be, or converted to being something that it really despises. And because those things happen, your body will rebel against you as hard as it can and as loud as it will. You're not, I don't believe that people were put here on earth so that they can act like everybody else. I think they were put here on earth so they could praise God and act the way that they wanted us to.
So, like, that's deep. That's deep. What does discipline actually mean to you?
Repeating habits. Oh, wait, repeating patterns, good habits. You repeat the same useful, regular patterns over and over again, and they become a life. You instill good habits purposely by force, and they become championships, and they become friendships, they become things. Like on my end, I don't have a very, like, I have autism spectrum disorder, and I fall somewhere on that. And I have trouble dealing with people directly, but I'm filled with love. So therefore, I'm trying my hardest to make sure that the words that come out of my mouth align with that.
How do you stay focused when like you're struggling?
Lately, it's been harder because I've lost I lost what I once had, and it happened. It happened in January of 2023. I've made the realization that every single version of help that was going to come my way was going to use me and throw me away. And motivation has been incredibly hard for me to put on after that. And I'm not going to lie to you. Every time I see Austin and Derek's faces smiling with the fact that they won against me and won't give me a rematch, it fills me with anger. And someone would tell me just get over it and move on. No, these are two champions who say that they are willing to defend their home and shit. I think I kicked both your asses. I left you both bloody, and you won't give me a rematch. You'll go out and fight guys who like like these people will go out and fight guys who have terrible records and then look at me and say, "Oh, you have to earn it." Are you serious? I paid for the belt that is around your waist. You had to use trickery to get me into the ring for as little as you did. I don't believe that Joe Boyd was ever on my side. I believe that he was always a mole for you people. I wonder if he's been just doing things to help you guys for years and nobody noticed. I couldn't figure out why the opponent previous to me had that really weird reaction that he did against fighting Austin. But I could figure it out. Something is wrong with show boxing. And I'm not gonna sit back and act like it's nothing. I wrote up a lawsuit and I've already sent it in. I don't believe this anymore. It's hard to have motivation when everything is a lie. It was bad enough integrity was a lie. But the rest of it, it's disheartening. I just don't believe anything anymore. But I'm vain. And I like looking like this. So I'm willing to get up and go running. And I'm willing to put weights in the air. And I'm willing to throw punches. I don't believe boxing anymore as a professional. Because all I've experienced are people lying to me, using my skin and my body to aggrandize their own endeavors. And nobody has been willing to help me, even though I did the part that I was supposed to. I got up in the morning. I went running. I did my push-ups. I threw my punches. I went to sparring in 4 different states. I did everything I was supposed to do. And I never got the support I needed or wanted because either I am quote unquote woke, meaning that I'm not going to be a part of a team or a part of people